Hello friends. Glad you are with me in another tutorial video. This video is the third part of the complete and free After Effects software tutorial, and in this video I want to show you how to import files into After Effects software. I hope you enjoy watching this video. If you have not seen my previous videos in this field, you can watch the previous videos from the link that is displayed to you. First of all, I invite you, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, subscribe to my channel and click on the bell to be informed of the new videos that I'm uploading for you at the earliest opportunity. Please, if you have a friend who can find this content useful, share the videos with him, and if you like my videos, like them. Let's go to the tutorial on how to import files into After Effects software. In previous videos, we learned how to create and save a project and composition. Now it's time to show you how to import files into After Effects software. To get started, I created a new project, and inside this project, I created a composition called Software VidComp 1. But before you start the process of importing files, you should pay attention to the fact that you can use one or more types of files to create a video. You can start with a small part of a video and then add other files such as images, audio and video files to the project. Of course, I suggest you to collect all the files you need in one folder before starting work so that you can easily use these files in the future. Of course, this is not necessary at all, because After Effects is not a linear software, and when working with this software, you can easily select different files from different parts of the hard disk and add them to the project. But categorizing files will increase speed and create order in the project. For example, I created a new folder here called Software Vid Folder 1. I also created several other folders called Audio, Picture and Video inside the Software Vid Folder 1 folder for more order. Similarly, inside each of these folders you can create other folders to further organize the file. For example, I created 3 more folders inside the Picture folder. Now, after creating the folders, all you have to do is go to the location of the files you want and use the 2 commands copy and paste to move a copy of these files to the folder you want. Note, you don't have to keep multiple copies of a file on different parts of your hard disk. In this case, it is better to burn a copy of these files on a blank DVD to keep the original files intact. Okay. So far, we have added our files to the desired folder. Of course, when working with the project, we may still need to add other files or folders to this folder, but to start the same steps, it seems enough. So far, we are familiar with the basics of importing files into the software. Now I want to show you how to import different files into the software. The first type of files that you can import into After Effects software are Photoshop software files with a PSD extension. To do this, go to the File menu and select the File option from the Import menu. This will open the Import File dialog box. In this box, you must first click on the PSD file you want to be selected. For example, I click on the Software Vid Photoshop 1 file. Now open the Import As menu. In this menu, the Footage option is enabled, allowing you to import the PSD file seamlessly into the program. The next 2 options in this menu allow you to import the PSD file into the program as a new layered composition. This starts the process of importing the PSD file into the project and provides us with a new box with the same name as the selected PSD file. The next part of this box is the Layer Options section, which enables or disables the Layer Styles editing feature. Now I click on the OK button. This will add the PSD file as a new composition to the project panel. As a result, in the current project, 2 compositions are displayed in the project panel. There is also a folder next to this composition that holds all the layers of the file. OK. a folder was created with layers, with composition and with the same name. To view the contents of this folder, just click on the arrow next to it. In this case, by clicking on each of these layers, you can see a small preview of them at the top of the project panel. To close the selected folder, just click on the triangle next to the folder icon. Another thing to know about the composition created from a PSD file is that, by double-clicking on its name, we can open the relevant timeline. Of course, this method is also used to open other compositions. In this case, the timeline related to the selected composition is opened in a separate tab next to the previous composition, and also a preview of its contents is displayed in the composition panel. Tip: After Effects software, like Photoshop software, works on layers. In simpler language, in the timeline of After Effects software, the contents of each layer that is at a higher level are displayed by default. However, if part of the contents of the top layer is empty or has transparency, parts of the bottom layer will be displayed accordingly. In addition, the arrangement of the layers in the timeline is quite similar to the arrangement of the layers in the PSD file. OK. As you can see, all timeline layers have at least one subset called Transform, which can be used to change various properties of that layer. As you can see, you can easily use Photoshop PSD files and After Effects projects and enjoy exchanging files in these two powerful software. The second most commonly used file that can be imported into a project is Illustrator software files. To use these files, you can also go to the File menu in the Import sub-menu and select the File option. Of course, the easiest and fastest way to do this is to double-click on an empty space in the project panel. Using this method, the Import File box is opened and we can select one or more files and import them into our project. Now, for example, we select an Illustrator file. Using the Import As menu, you can specify that the selected file be imported to the project as a footage or composition. For example, here I am going to add the I file as a footage to the project. To do this, select the Footage option and click on the Import button. Tip: If the selected file has more than one layer, a box will appear and you can specify how to import the layers. Here, the Merged Layers option is selected by default and all layers are imported as merged. However, by selecting the Choose Layer option, you can select the desired layer to be imported from the menu in front of this option. I click the OK button here by activating the Merged Layers option. This will add the selected file to the project as a footage or more simply a file. Tip: Before using the file and dragging it to the timeline, you can see a preview of it in the Footage panel. To do this, simply double-click on the file you want in the project panel to open the Footage panel and display a preview of the selected file. Of course, you can easily call this panel from the Windows menu. In addition to PSD and I files, you can easily add video files to your project. To do this, double-click on an empty space in the project panel to open the Import File box. Now select the video file and click the Import button. In this case, as you can see in the video file is added to the project panel without any special settings. The point here is that by selecting the video file, you can see a preview of it with specifications such as dimensions, duration, frame rate, colors used in it, image codec, and also the specifications of the audio file. The same is true for different types of audio files, and you can import these files into your project without any special settings and using the Import option. Sometimes you may want to match the dimensions of the image or video with the dimensions of the composition. For example, the dimensions of this composition are 1920 by 1080 pixels. However, we have imported an image with dimensions of 850 by 638. So if we add this image to the timeline by clicking and dragging, you can see that it does not cover the whole composition. In this case, to match the dimensions of the image with the composition, just right-click on it and go to the Transform menu from the menu that opens. In the fourth part of this sub-menu, there are 3 options for adjusting the dimensions of the image relative to the composition. Meanwhile, by selecting the Fit to Comp option, the length and width of the image are adjusted simultaneously with the composition. However, by selecting other options, the dimensions of the image will be adjusted based on the width and height of the composition, respectively, while maintaining its proportion. I select the Fit to Comp option here. I showed you how to import files into the project panel. But before we look at the other features of this panel, I want to show you how to categorize and organize the files in the project panel. As you know, by importing different files into the program, these files are displayed in the project panel. As a result, as the number of these files increases, we will need to be able to quickly access the files and items we need. One of the ways to manage files in After Effects is to categorize and organize files within different folders. Of course, there are different ways to create a folder in this software. One of these methods is to click on the Create a New Folder icon in the project panel. When you click on this icon, this will create a new folder and display it in the project panel. As a result, you can easily assign a name to it and then press the Enter key on the keyboard. For example, here I enter the phrase video for the name of this folder. Of course, instead of pressing the Enter key, you can also click on the folder icon to save the changes. Now I want to add the video files in the project panel to the created folder. So I click on the icon of the first video file, and by holding down the Shift key I also click on the icon of the last video file so that all of them are selected. Now you have to hold down the left key and drag the mouse, drag the selected files to the video folder and release the left mouse button. This will move all selected items to this folder and display them as a subset. In this case, you can hide its contents by clicking on the arrow next to the folder icon. To display the contents of a folder, just click on the arrow next to it once more. Another way to create a folder is to right-click on an empty space in the project panel. So right-click on an empty space in this panel and select New Folder from the menu that opens. This creates a new folder and we enter the phrase audio as its name. In fact, I'm going to keep all the audio files in this folder. Therefore, we transfer all audio files to this folder by clicking and dragging the mouse. Another way to create a new folder is to create a folder using the contents of the project panel. For example, here we are going to put the created compositions in a folder. To do this, first you have to hold down the Control key and select them, release the Control key, then click and drag the icon of one of the selected compositions, release it on the Create New Folder icon. This will create a folder containing all the selected compositions, so just confirm it by naming it and pressing Enter on the keyboard. The point here is that you can even create one or more folders in one folder. For example, you can create several other folders inside the audio folder and sort the audio files by type or content. To do this, you must first click on the icon you want to be selected. Then you have to create a new folder inside that folder using one of the taught methods. At the end of this video, it is necessary to mention 2 points. 1. You can easily access the source file in the project panel through the contents of the timeline. 2. In the timeline panel and in the source name field, the icon related to the used file is displayed. As a result, you can easily find out what kind of file is located in each of the timeline layers. Dear friend, in this video we saw how to import files into After Effects software. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, Subscribe to my channel and click on the bell to be notified of the new videos I am uploading to you as soon as possible. And if you have a friend who can find this content useful, share the videos with him, and if you like this video, like it. Until the next video, God bless you.